For most fans, the Harry Potter books are superior to the movies. But at the same time, sometimes the films had certain modifications that made the story even better.
That's totally barbaric.
How did the fourth movie add some hilarious suffering for Ron? Which scene showed Harry as a relatable teen? And why did the ending make so much more sense in the movie?
I'm just saying it could be a contributing factor.
The Yule Ball preparations. With all the evil stuff coming, the Goblet of Fire didn't leave a lot of time for cheering. But the movie still managed to fit in some comic relief with a sequence that wasn't in the books. It showed the students learning how to dance for the upcoming Yule Ball. And the highlight of the scene was Professor McGonagall making Ron dance with her.
Place your right hand on my waist.
What?
Weasley's face was everything. As was Fred and George's jokes and everyone's laughter.
Never gonna let me forget this, are you?
Never.
That moment probably caused Ron more suffering than any combat with the Death Eaters. And it wasn't the only reason why the dance lesson scene was so incredible. It also gave us this unforgettable phrase.
Behaving like a babbling, bumbling band of baboons.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
To dance is to let the body...
Now, we're moving on to the next thing that the movies did better. I must not tell lies.
I really hate children.
Dolores Umbridge was one of the most hated characters in the whole franchise. Even more hated than Voldemort himself. Among other dreadful things she did was making Harry write lines with her special quill. I must not tell lies was the phrase he had to scribble, and that got scribbled into his hand. In the book, Umbridge often said that she wanted the message to settle into the boy's head. And the movie added a scene showing that she actually succeeded. When Harry and Hermione take Umbridge to the Forbidden Forest to lure her away, a herd of centaurs attack her. As they're taking her with them, she pleads to Harry to tell them that she means no harm. But Harry's response is savage.
I'm sorry, Professor. I must not tell lies.
Absolutely epic. And just what this despicable woman deserved. Now let's talk about a character we all loved. Nice one, James. The books often highlighted how much Harry resembled his father, and Sirius was probably the one who saw it more than others. The fifth movie shows this very well. Unlike the book, it has a scene where Harry fights alongside his godfather, and they even get to talk a bit.
You've done beautifully. Now let me take it from here.
While in the book, Harry tried to retreat and let the Order fight, in the movie, he stays right there. And after he casts a spell, Black says an interesting phrase without even noticing it himself.
Nice one, James!
This is a blink and you'll miss it moment, but it has a lot of meaning. It reveals that Sirius sees his late friend living on in his godson. The saddest thing about it is that this phrase was the last thing he uttered, because just moments after, he went behind the veil, breaking the hearts of every single fan. And here's another, much less heartbreaking moment from the saga. Dobby, the free elf. Getting away from his master was probably one of Dobby's happiest moments. In the Chamber of Secrets book, it happened in quite a weird way. Harry put Riddle's diary inside his sock and then gave it to Mr. Malfoy. In the movie, he did the opposite, and it made much more sense. The boy puts his sock inside the book, and Lucius, unaware of it, passes it to Dobby. Done this way, the scene has more meaning and comes as a surprise to the audience, as well as to the characters.
Master has given Dobby a sock.
What? I didn't...
Right afterwards, Mr. Malfoy snaps at Harry and even almost uses the killing curse on him. Would be a waste if he proceeded with the spell, right? And we're moving on. Not so humble Harry. In the books, he's quite a modest young man who doesn't think too highly of himself. For example, when Hermione offers to create a study group in the Order of the Phoenix, Harry doubts that he can teach them. He says that he never achieved success by himself, as help would always come from somewhere else. And above all, he doesn't enjoy being the chosen one, unlike movie Harry.
But I am the chosen one. Okay, sorry.
For many fans, this moment became a favorite, not only because it was really funny, but it also showed another side of Harry. In this scene, he acts like a typical teenager who wants to goof around, and who lightens up when he learns that an attractive girl likes him. Seeing him so human and so relatable after everything he's been through was pretty cool. and so was watching this sweet scene. Harry and Hermione's dance. Both Deathly Hallows movies were filled with dark and evil moments. So if it wasn't for heartwarming scenes like this one, they would be quite depressing to watch. The dance also shows the strong connection between Harry and Hermione. As both of them grew up in Muggle families, it was nice to see them enjoy a simple moment and just dance to some random Muggle song. What's more, this scene reminds us that Harry and Hermione are still kids. And here's one more moment from the movies that highlighted the importance of friendship. The battle in the Department of Mysteries. Lots of things about this sequence are different if you compare the book and movie, and according to many fans, the film did it better. Among other things, it's more dynamic and epic. But more importantly, it gives the center stage not only to Harry, but also to his friends. The Order of the Phoenix book doesn't have this interaction, for example.
How's Mum and Dad?
Better now they're about to be avenged.
Seeing Neville standing up to Bellatrix? Give me more of that. Plus, the movie doesn't split up Harry and his friends into couples like the book did. They fight against the Death Eaters all together. And here's another important element that happens when Harry gets possessed by Voldemort. The curse is lifted as soon as he sees his friends and feels their love and his own love for them. This sequence of touching moments carries a huge meaning, because it helps Harry understand why he's actually stronger than the Dark Lord.
You're the weak one, and you'll never know love or friendship.
It becomes clear to viewers right away why Voldemort can no longer possess him. It's impossible for him to stay in the body of a person who has the ability to love that strongly. Little did he know that one of his Death Eaters also knew what love was. Many things about Snape. The Professor of Potions is much more beloved among movie fans than among book fans. That's thanks partly to the charisma of Alan Rickman. I mean, even when he kills Dumbledore, you can't hate him, can you? The book Snape seems to be a worse person. There are countless moments when he's totally unfair to Harry and others. Meanwhile, the movies give him more redeeming qualities. For example, in a subtle but memorable moment in the Prisoner of Azkaban movie, we see Snape shielding the trio with his body. He protects them against Lupin when he turns into a werewolf. And the way he dies is also different. In the book, Snape's final words are, "Look at me." But in the movie, you know what he says.
You have your mother's eyes.
This line is very powerful. It shows that Snape finally sees Lily and Harry, and not only James, whom he hated so much. It also adds so much gravity to his death, because in his final moments, Snape essentially looks into the eyes of the woman he's loved his whole life. And before you cry your eyes out, here's one more thing that was better in the movie. The end of the Elder Wand. After the war is over and Voldemort is gone for good, Harry has to decide what to do with the world's most powerful wand. In the book, he returns it to Dumbledore's grave, but that actually doesn't make any sense. I mean, the wand was stolen from there. Who could guarantee that some other evil wizard wouldn't come one day and steal it again? Especially if disarming Harry is all it takes to become its master. The film had a more logical approach. Now that the Elder Wand is broken in half, it no longer has power, and no one else can use it for good or bad reasons. That truly is a good and smart conclusion to the story, don't you think? What other scenes did you like more in the movies than in the books? Share in the comments below, and if you want to learn more about your favorite Harry Potter characters, check out our other videos.